LEUNG of Holland Evan Williams of England to receive. Set to 5 games. Love all.
Welcome into this, the final of the BARFOOT and THOMPSON Auckland Open, the men's singles here, and it's the top two seeds. It is Henry there, up against Evan Williams, the second seed from Wellington.
Right, please, no really loud sudden noises, especially during the rally. After the point's done. One love.
And Joel Ascott joining me. Joel, after a couple of interesting semi-finals yesterday, particularly Evan Williams coming back. Evan Williams coming back in 5. What can we expect in this one? I mean, these two know each other's game quite well.
Yeah, I'm sure they're aware of each other. But an interesting road into the final for both of them. Henry is yet to drop a set. Winning all 3 of his matches in straight games. Evan a little bit tougher route to the final, coming back from 2-love down 7-1 deficit yesterday. He probably won't be wanting a repeat of that. So an interesting first game actually, and probably wanting to get into the legs of Henry as well.
Well, these two played in the tournament in Southland in Invercargill last year, and it was Evan Williams winning that one for his 6th Challenger title.
Yeah, that is a slightly bigger event, a 12k PSA they have now, this one being a 6k. So yeah, both playing each other in a final. I'm sure that's still in their minds, or in Henry's mind, unfinished business for him.
We need to make more effort to play those. It's always minimal interference there. Okay. Carry on.
2-1.
I still felt that you need to make more effort to play those. He was clear. I'm allowing a lead this time. Please play on. Okay. Play on. Play on.
Well, we are in the final here, and albeit in the first game, but both players want this title. They really want this title.
Yeah, we can see, as we said, also they have played each other before in a final, and not so much on. There's obviously more on the line than the last one, but it's a reputation kind of thing as well at the end of the day, and I've seen it already a number of interactions within being 5 or 6 points. So.
And I guess the other thing is, you don't get to a final to lose it. You don't get there for participation, do you? Not in a final.
It's the be-all, end-all, isn't it? Especially as a professional squash player, this is what you train for. So, yeah, everything's on the line. All those hours on the court when no one's around. Time to put the work on display for both of them. And obviously, both of this, for both players with their ranking positions on the tour, big points on offer. Start to the season as well, start to the year.
It's in between rallies.
And some enthusiastic support there for Evan Williams.
The infamous cousin of Evan Williams, making an appearance at 2 out of the 3 BARFOOT and THOMPSON tournaments so far. A lot of pride on the line.
Well, we had success for Evan Williams in the Henderson tournament. That was a satellite tournament, the first tournament of this series, where he defeated Elijah Thomas. But this one is a step up, particularly when you get players like Tang.
More internationals, yeah.
Tang and LEUNG in there.
the big pun. You didn't give a message to that ball.
5-2.
Go, guys.
Great return, full 360 there, and LEUNG, plenty of skills. Whew, just dropped in. Well, it's been a settling down period, but it hasn't really been that much settling yet.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe a few early interactions with ref, maybe a sign of nerves.
Just be careful of those balls, Mr. Williams. Keep them in.
So a good 6-point lead there now for Henry LEUNG, the top seed. Both of these players top 100 ranked at the moment. Again, very warm conditions. We had it yesterday and again today. There's a good crowd in here. Outside probably 25 degrees, pretty humid.
A bit more air getting about than the last 2 days, though, I feel. Obviously doesn't have that much of an effect on court, but
3-8. Right side.
Go, guys.
And only 2 places between these two on the world rankings at the current month. It is Evan Williams at 89, LEUNG at 87. Probably could have made much more out of that ball. Evan Williams back in the rally now.
so a bit different to the match yesterday. We saw Evan playing Tang Ming Hong of Hong Kong, a left-hander.
No less.
Henry being a right-hander, so a bit more of a different change-up. I feel like most of the Hong Kong players have a similar style, and but obviously the change-up of hands meaning a bit more of a switch of play. So it'll be interesting to see how Evan actually deals with that today.
Does that turn shot very well.
Yeah. A lot of movements looking very effortless for Henry. There we go, gliding onto the ball.
That's 10-3. Just made a mistake.
Thought he'd had it 1 point too early there. Wonder why he's coming off. Good anticipation, perhaps.
Classy stuff from Henry, closing out the first game.
There we go, 10-3, make that 11-3, the first game there to Henry LEUNG, the top seed over Evan Williams, the second seed. We're back now for the second game of the men's final, the BARFOOT and THOMPSON Auckland Open at the North Shore Squash Club. And the first game going to Henry LEUNG, the top seed, that was 11-3. And just a few sort of disruptions and things like that. And John, you think that Evan sort of just didn't quite get into the rhythm with those
Yeah,
few little disruptions going on?
I think we've already seen just in this first rally so far, he's really looking to step up the court a little bit, take that ball a little bit earlier, put some pressure on it. That's a reward.
Yeah, I think that's what we've been looking for, is get to that tee, dominate, and take a few balls on the fall as well, rather than be pushed back all the time.
I mean, Henry's one of these players, he likes to pat the ball around and hit his targets, but taking time away from your opponent.
Straight into Mr. the learn and steer it towards the ball. No, the ball is
So
I've given you an explanation, Mr. Williams.
And now, one ball.
Interesting call, but I feel as though if Evan actually went to that ball and even just hit it down the line, Henry's so far out of position, you know, you can often win the point if you just play it. So it's unfortunate there.
quite difficult for a referee as well with it out in the replay to see. It really is a split decision.
Doesn't want to let this break his rhythm though, Evan. He's a smart character, Henry. He'll be taking note of these things, and he's well aware of, you know, the mental aspect of the game.
Well, they're treading with the tin there, really just trying to get as close and close as possible with their drops. But in the end, there is Henry LEUNG who really put the shot right there. Yep, nice shot.
I think that front left definitely a strength for both players. You know, Evan loves his forehand drop. He's very deceptive being a left-hander on the left side, and you know Henry's always putting that backhand drop in with that such short backswing that we see. So I think there'll be a few good trades in that front left. It's a beautiful hold punch there, gluing it to the wall.
As a player in a tournament like this and other tournaments, how easy is it to get confused as to where you're serving from?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. When you do have the adrenaline running and you're really fired up and all of that stuff is on the line, you can forget even some of the most basic things. With one of those being which box do you serve from? You know. Again, though, I think you have to have a bit of a shocker to forget your opponent's a left-handed player.
Yeah, true. Nice. Oh, great retrieval. One thing you've got to give credit to is the top seed Henry LEUNG. He's controlling the point.
It's definitely a trend, you know, that coaches say it all the time. You just keep getting the balls back and you get the reward, and very good demonstration of that right there. Even just forcing it after 2 or 3 great retrievals from Henry.
Well, there you go. That's probably the first mistake that he's made in
I think
this second game.
the crowd a bit stunned there with that one. Everyone just going quiet because he hasn't really made any errors yet. But he is human at the end of the day. Slightly harsh decision, but I think the referees are trying to make their point, aren't they? They want Evan to play those balls.
I mean, should you play it and then appeal, or do you stop the point like what he did then?
It's a good question. I think as a player, you want to keep playing. You know, it's like they say in rugby, you play until the whistle goes, and that's definitely been one of those cases.
Oh, Evan Williams came back from a lot worse yesterday. 1-7 down in the third. But I think we've got a different type of opponent here, a better opponent.
Definitely. Henry's, fresher, more experienced, higher ranked. He's a different beast. Oh, great. Good.
Not much you can do about that. It was just a top shot.
Just a perfect width, just clipping that sidewall and front floor join.
Nice flicking it from in front of him. You couldn't really tell what he was going to do. Henry probably couldn't see it, and a nice little flick. A couple of good quick points to come back. Cut the deficit.
It's 5-9 though, he's got some work to do.
Kind of speed it up as well, Evan
Slightly
Williams.
uncharacteristic error there from Henry. He's got a buffer, it can't be too hard on him. As we know though, squash is one of those games, you know, you give your opponent an inch, it can all of a sudden they're back in it. So I'm sure Tang's aware of after yesterday.
I don't think you can appeal for that one. I think LEUNG has figured it out. He was just beaten in the end.
Very quite far out of position, a bit of a desperate ask. He's got to be careful now. Evan forging his comeback. Hear the crowd on that one.
Yeah. It's a game ball. I mean, nice little fight back, but really an opportunity like that, you want to make certain.
And that's all it takes, and Henry with the 3 game balls now to close out the second set. Oh, great.
That's good play. Gee, he really moved forward on that one.
I think that's the one he was looking for on the point before, so just correcting himself there. Be happy with that one. A lot harder than it looks when it's when you're hitting that one on the volley that close to the front line.
A lot of running. Yeah. And so that is the second game, 11-8 to the top seed, Henry LEUNG. 2 games to love now. And now back into the third game of the BARFOOT Thompson Auckland Open. This is the final, the men's final here. And it's already proved exciting. We had a bit of a strange start with the first there. Henry LEUNG taking that 11-3. A little bit of a miniature comeback by Evan Williams in the second, but still Henry LEUNG taking that 11-8. And now Joel Ascott, what can we do if you're Evan Williams? He had the big comeback yesterday, but different opponent, isn't it, today?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question, but we saw him do it yesterday. It's just one of those things, isn't it? You just don't want to roll over. I mean, again, there's even more at stake today than there was yesterday. It's the final. He's played Henry before, so maybe he was a little bit too relaxed at the start. And Henry definitely a little bit fresher movement-wise, it seems. I think he's really got to knuckle down here though, and try and put another 10 minutes into Henry's legs before he can look to make some leeway. You know, we saw Henry not fold over, but slightly take his foot off the pedal in the last set. So if he can force a little bit of that, maybe early on the third.
But he can't let this no-let call go against him mentally and let him rush in this, or just let him phase it, because this is his time to come back. He has no other chances.
Exactly. You don't want to, especially in a final, you don't want to come off court thinking, I could have done more. And you really do have to leave it all out on the court, physically and mentally. And things like let calls, you just have to accept. The referees see it how they see it, and you have to accept and move on.
You're going to have to settle down here, Evan Williams, if you want to stay in this match.
Evan always very hard himself, so I think he'll be very nice shot there. Still shaking his head though afterwards, but I think he'll be pretty disappointed if he loses this in under 35 minutes, 40 minutes. So he'll be really looking to take it to Henry now.
Perhaps that previous point might have given him some confidence to get into this one again. Gee, that was tight.
Yeah, glued to the sidewalk. Yeah, absolutely glued.
Evan Williams acknowledging that was a top shot.
Yeah, he's been working Evan into that corner very well, actually, in the front left. Just loves to just place that ball there and get his opponents moving up and then looking to cover the next one. But that one, far too good.
And we should just remind people that the women's singles final was won in 5 games by Lara Harrison over Anna Miller. Big battle on that one. But now back to this, the men's singles final. Henry LEUNG really controlling this match very well. Well, not that point though.
Thank you.
Things just getting a little bit scrappy there for a while, from both players actually.
I think Evan needing a little bit of a reset and refocus on hitting those targets is the main thing, I'd say. Once you can hit those targets, you can start building again and getting that foundation working back in his favour. Just open the court up a little bit, a few unforced errors, and Henry just ultimately picking him off, really.
Great retrieving here from Henry.
The ball just keeps coming back, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's certainly maybe not controlling this point, or maybe now, but he recovered well.
Oh, there we go. Just one too many there for Henry. Unable to cover that very deceiving forehand boast off the left wall from Evan.
And again, Henry LEUNG, the top seed, controlling that point very well. Just very consistent, isn't he, Joel?
Yeah, he's not really doing a lot wrong. I can't fault him for too much right now. And just finding those corners a little bit better than Evan, you know, getting that ball running away from him in those back corners, and then, you know, really working him well into the front too. That short backswing that we do see. Never looking flustered either, eh? He's always calm, controlled on the ball, even when he is doing those court sprints, as we saw in the last few rallies.
No, you were facing the wrong way and the ball was to your right, right of being off the lead. Yeah, but there was plenty of room there on the other side.
You want one, please?
White box, just below.
7-3.
An interesting call, but the referee's just feeling Evan's not ready to play that ball when he called it.
No nonsense there from Henry, he's just ready to play.
Throwing the old hands up as to say, I don't know.
Clearly, he called it as you went to hit it. As you call it, he obviously saw that you were closer than he thought. I'm happy with
Yes,
it.
left. 7-3.
A lot of talk going on inside the court, as well as outside.
Henry not looking phased, whether it's the language barrier or simply getting on with it.
I don't think it's a
good to
language
see.
barrier.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think so. He's just going to give nothing back.
Yeah, I mean, why would he? He's 7-4 up, 2-love up. It's all in his favour at the moment. So, especially when you are do have that lead, and you see your opponent making a few comments, it does give you a bit more confidence.
Nice play. Taking on the volley, right into the corner.
8-4.
Well, we had a miniature comeback in the last game, but yeah, he's really going to have to be on his game now. Evan Williams, if he was going to come back at all in this game, let alone this match.
Just not finding his length, I feel, as well as Henry, and just Henry being able to chip those straight volleys in at ease, really.
So 9-4 now.
Go, Evan. Keep working. Come on.
Great retrieval again by Henry LEUNG, the top seed. Evan Williams trying to take over the tee, but not quite working at the moment. They get to bounce like that to take it to match point.
10-4. Match ball. Go, Evan.
Just staying in. Oh, well, there we go. That is it in straight games. 11-3, 11-8, 11-4 to Henry LEUNG. the top seed. And Joel Ascott, just got to say, that was a very, very consistent display there by Henry LEUNG.
Well controlled, very professional, and doing well to close that out in 3, and very impressive from the Hong Kong man, yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much. That is the live commentary. We'll be back with the prize group.